Welcome. In this tutorial, I am going to show you how to create a model line based family. These types of families helps us to make parametric families such as the wardrobe, the cabinet, and other parametric families in Revit. That helps us to save a lot of time in Revit. Okay, now let us open a model line based family template. We are going to File, go to New, and then go to Family. We go to English, and then we are going to choose a metric generic model line based. Click Open, and it is going to open another window. On this window and this particular template, we have the right reference plane, this is the left reference plane, this is the central one, and this is the reference line. Now we have the length parameter by default, and this one you cannot change it. The only way to change this length is to move this reference plane at a desired distance. Now we are going to create a parameter that is going to help us to control the width of our family. Let's go to Create and go to Reference Plane. Creating the reference plane here. And I am going to add the dimension. I'm going to align the dimension, or DI as the shortcut, and then start from here to here, and then go left. I'm going to select this one and go to Create Parameter. I'm going to call this one Width. And it's going to be an instant parameter. Let me click OK. And you can see that we have this parameter here. I can now go to this parameter and go to Edit Type, and I'm going to maybe put the value here. This one is 450. Apply and hit OK. Now the next step is to create another parameter that is going to control the heights of our family. Now let's go to the front elevation, and I'm going to create another reference plane. I'm going to go to Create and go to Reference Plane. I'm going to create one here. Maybe I can align it with the previous one. I'm going to DI, or align the dimension, and then place the dimension here. Go to the right and select this one. Go Create Parameter. I'm going to call it Height, and it's going to be an instant parameter, and I click OK. I'm going to select this one, go to Edit Type, and here the heights, I'm going to make it 180. Great. Now the first thing that we are going to create is the top that will extend from here to here for our wardrobe. We are actually going to do that by going to the reference level, and then we are going to create an extrusion. Let's go to Create and go to Extrusion, and we are going to set the plane first. Let's go to Set, and I'm going to use Pick Plane, and I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to choose this reference line. You remember the reference line is the one which is going to help us to extrude, to manipulate our family after we have created it and when we want to place it in the floor plan. Now click on that, and now I'm going to go to the rectangular method and I'm going to create that extrusion that is going to span from that point, that reference plane, to this other reference plane here. I click, and once I am done, I'm going to hit this finish to create our extrusion. After that, I'm going to go to the front elevation, and you can see that we have this top on the base here, which is not right. I'm going to select this one. I am going to unpin this, and I'm going to move it on the top. Placing it here. Maybe it's not in the exact position, but there is no problem because we are going to align it. Now let's use align tool here. Pick this reference plane. I'm going to align that side to that reference plane. I'm locking it here in position. I'm going to use this reference plane again, lock it here, and similar to this one, and this locking it, and the remaining this one we are going to use the dimension to precise the thickness of it. How we are going to do that? We are going to go to the aligned dimension, or DI for shortcut, and I'm going to pick this reference line, align it with this edge, and click. Now cancel twice to finish, and I'm going to select this one and click here and put in 25. That is the thickness of the top of our wardrobe. Let me click. Now I'm going to select this dimension and lock it in place. That means this thickness is going to be constant. Okay, so now that we have this top here, we are going to go ahead and create the body of our wardrobe. To do that, we are going to go to create, use extrusion again, and go to rectangular method. I am going to select this point and this point, and I can lock these points here, but this one is not going to be locked because I'm going to offset it. I am going to put an offset of -25. The minus sign is to make us able to offset in the inside, not outside. Okay, you can see that these one are also locked. Now I will cancel twice, and then I will delete this one. Now I am going to use split elements, SL, as the shortcut. Now I'm splitting in the inside here, cancel twice. I'm going to use trim and extend. I'm clicking on this point, I'm leaving this point, this and that. That's actually it. Sorry for that. Now these points have to be locked. I can move it down and move it up, and then lock this one in place. Or I can use the align, pick this point and pick this one, and I'm going to lock it in place. Okay, Now I'm going to hit OK to finish this one. Okay, now let's go to the reference level and we will see this object that we come to create here. The first thing to do is to stretch this face to the upper side. Now we lock it in place, and here we are going to leave some space for the door. What are we going to do? We are going to create a reference plane first. Reference plane. And now I'm going to go here and create a reference plane here. Now what are we going to do? We are going to use DI or align the dimension and create a dimension here. Now this one is going to be 25 and it's going to be locked in place. Now I'm going to select this one and I will stretch it up and put it on that reference plane, and I will lock it in place so that if you move the top, the body will also move. That's it. Okay, now we are going to create doors for our wardrobe. But before we go there, I would like to go to the reference level, and this reference plane, you must give it a name so that we can use it in placing doors for our wardrobe. So I gave it a name of HDS reference, so I will be able to remember that. Now let's go back to the front elevation, and to go ahead, I'm going to create another reference plane here in the middle. Go to create and then go to reference plane, and now I'm going to create one here in the middle to up. Okay, I'm actually aligning it with the other planes here, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to create again, extrusion, and I'm going to actually pick the HDS reference plane here and click OK. Now I'm going to start my door from this point here. Now I'm going to place this like this, maybe. No problem here. Now I'm going to lock this point. I will also lock this point. Now what I'm going to do is to come back here and use align the dimension to take this point and this one so that we can control it. Now this point has to be at 30 millimeters, and here we are leaving a gap of 5 millimeters so that this door is not directly attached to the top of our wardrobe. Now here we are also going to, this one we are actually going to lock it in place, and here we are also going to use the same align dimension, and then from this point to this point I'm gonna put the gap is going to be 5 millimeters also, so this one is going to be 595 like this. Okay, that is what we want. Now we complete this one and we are going to go to the reference to the rectangular method again. We create another one here that is exactly aligned to this one, and we are going to lock this one in place. I think I must have made a mistake. Control Z. Okay, so Let me be back for a while. Now let me go back to this point. Okay, now let's align this one to this point here. Okay, now I'm locking this one in place and this one in place also. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm also going to use this one. We do not really need it for now. Now what I'm going to do is to go to align dimension. We are going to first of all use this point and that point to give it 30, which is exact because we aligned, and I'm locking it in place. And here also I'm going to use the align dimension, and I'm going to take this point and this point here. You can see that they are really aligned correctly. This is 595, which is good. Now these things, we do no longer need them. We delete them here. And what we are going to do, we are actually going to go on and add a dimension, align the dimension here. I'm going to align the dimension and go to this point, and this point. And what we are going to do is to, okay, so this one, I think I'm going to remove it first. I'm going to activate, and this one is going to be an EQ dimension. Now let's go to the view, to the reference plane, and then we are going to have this one stretched back. And here, if we are on this view, let's go check. We're going to put apply, and you can see that we are now good to go. That's very nice.